and welcome to Good to Know Shreveport-Bossier, the podcast that showcases the good things happening in our community. I'm Shannon Brinias, and this is my co-host, Paul Reiser, a local businessman and member of the Committee of 100. Now, each podcast that we share with you will focus on topics and initiatives and programs and organizations that are having a positive impact on our cities. And with new episodes available every other Wednesday, you can find Good to Know wherever you listen to podcasts. And so nice to have you, Paul, here. And this is episode 3 of our new team and partnership.
The new team.
New team.
Hey, yeah.
Put me in, Coach.
I'm excited, Shannon, because I've been doing this with Jeff for almost 2 years, and I didn't know all those words were even on the teleprompter because he just says, hey, we're here. So good to hear all that stuff. Thank you.
Well, we care.
That's
we
right.
care to let people know where they can find this podcast.
Well, thank you. And speaking of great things happening in our community, I'm super excited about our guest today. I don't know which one needs to look at. This one. Because talking about people that do great things in our community. These people care because I love dogs. I'm a dog person. You a dog person, Shannon?
I am a dog and cat person. I'm an equal opportunity animal person.
You're an animal lover.
Not reptiles, but yeah. Yeah.
Well, we don't need to get, I like fish too, but anyway. So I've always had dogs. Maybe they've had us, I don't know. She gets the chair more than I do, but I love dogs. And I know this group of people that participate in the Humane Society. So I've always heard of this thing, but I never really knew what all they did. I'm just like, oh, that's where, dogs go. But the Humane Society of Northwest Louisiana does amazing things in the area. And what's really interesting to me is how they get their staff, how they incentivize their staff, how they work. It's very interesting to me. So we're going to find out all that today. You're not even bugging me. Ed would be saying, are you going to introduce them by now? I mean, not Ed, Jeff.
Jeff? We just like to
Ed is the brains behind the camera.
Bringing up Ed, the producer's
Ed, we use your name all day today. Anyway,
but Jeff
regardless.
probably would be saying, let's introduce the guest. And I'm with him on this. And
well, our guest today from the Humane Society of Northwest Louisiana, Kady Maranto.
That's me, yes.
A woman with a big heart for dogs. I'm assuming for most people.
All animals, yes, all animals I would say, and some people will say. But thank you so much for having me today. Yes, so I am the board treasurer for the Humane Society of Northwest Louisiana, and we are a very strong rescue that consists of about 70 volunteers. And when I say volunteers, I mean that everything that we do, no one gets paid. Board members, it doesn't matter what you do.
Wow.
We are 100% volunteer-based, 100% donation-based. So everything that we provide for our beloved dogs is done through contributions, donations, and different activities that we have.
So no one gets paid, except your vendors. If somebody,
right,
yeah,
yes.
You're going to pay your vendors.
Exterminator,
right.
Lawn care, yes, we do make good on those.
Services.
Right, yes, and we have 2 amazing vets that we work with. Caddo Animal Clinic is one of them, and Airline Animal up in Bossier. So we actually spread the wealth on that. And so yes, I can't speak well enough about both of those facilities.
And there's pride in that you are a no-kill shelter, right?
Oh, I mean, I can't tell you how proud I am of our rescue to begin with. That's why I say rescue versus shelter.
Okay.
Because yes, as soon as we get our dogs, it doesn't matter what comes with them, because just like with people, that dog could have heartworm. They could be heartworm positive. They could need a surgery. You name it, we've seen it, and we provide everything that is needed for that dog to become healthy. Once the dog is healthy, then it goes out on our platforms to be adopted. So it's a job that I work really, really hard on, and so do all of our other volunteers. We don't get a paycheck, but it is the most enriching feeling, to be honest with you.
And that's what's amazing to me. They say no one gets a paycheck, and you guys don't just, hey, is someone going to go today? Maybe, this is a year-round, every day, 7 day a week has to be taken care of. How do you get people to show up?
very well-oiled machine, I like to say.
Yeah.
You have to have a passion for it. You really do. We, like I said, our volunteers, we're always looking for new people. I mean, so that's if anyone is interested and you think, well, I don't know, we have anything from social media team. We're doing marketing. We do adoptions. So even if you don't want to get down in the nitty gritty of cleaning the kennels, which I actually personally love, there's lots of things for you to do. So please don't be discouraged.
Okay.
And so we have people, some of our volunteers have been there since it started, and it's just the best. It is the absolute best. And so we have events usually throughout the community, and sometimes we'll have people come up, and we always have volunteer applications available. And so if you're interested, please contact us. We'd love to have you.
Definitely.
And I'm speaking to both of you too. So.
we're included in that.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, did you say full-time and part-time, or anytime, or weekly,
So
monthly?
Right now, roughly, we have about 50 dogs, and we're at capacity. We try to stay at capacity the entire time because there's just so much of a need for it around here. Every day, no matter if it's snowing, if it's hot, if it's raining, there are 2 shifts. There's a morning shift and an evening shift, because those dogs have to be let out. They have to be cleaned. We sanitize everything twice a day. Their toys, their blankets are washed more than my stepson's toy. You know what I mean? So everything has to be, and they have their food regimen, and they have medications. You'd be amazed at everything that has to. So it's not just we go in to play with some dogs. No, it is, you go in, you have to make sure that everybody is taken care of. We have some that are on medications for life. We have some that, maybe just a round of antibiotics, but our volunteers have to be very aware of what's going on.
So Kady, you're talking about work, even though you love it, it's work, it's hard work,
yes.
but there's also something really fun coming up, an event coming up.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I'm extremely excited. I'm very proud of this. We are having our very first gala, and it is going to be Canine Carnival. It's April 5th of this year from 6 to 9, and it's at the Louisiana State Exhibit Museum. I just get butterflies in my stomach thinking about it, so I'm so excited. So the event, all of the proceeds will actually go to the medical expenses for our dogs. So if you're willing to donate, we're doing table sponsorships. We actually have a few tables left. Individual ticket sales have gone on sale right now. They're $125 a piece. And the event is going to be amazing. So we have stilt walkers and jugglers and hula hoops and all these different things. So it's like an immersive event. We'll have Flying Heart is providing our cash bar. We're having catered food and a great silent auction that's got anything from jewelry, some amazing artwork. Yes, so I really encourage people to come. It's their first time to do something like this, and I can't be more excited about it. So.
Will people be bringing their dogs, do you think, to this?
Okay, so we're not, although we're not encouraging the dogs, they're going to be in spirit, just because we're going to have so much stuff going on. We don't want to stress out any of the fur babies.
Get it.
But yes.
It's going to be a fun gala for pet lovers to come and raise money. But
And
there'll be food and drinks and stilts.
Oh yeah, and it's like carnival-based foods, and we've got some specialty drinks that are I'm just so excited about everything. And then we have the silent auction. It's just, just think, and I don't know if you've ever actually been to the exhibit museum, but it's a round building. So as you go in, everything is just going to be kind of scattered around, and you've got, I'm just so stoked. It's going to be great.
So this spring in April, so you can go to your website and find out the exact details.
Yes, April 5th from 6 to 9, and the dress code, it's going to be, if you want to be semi-formal, or you can dress in carnival-themed costume if you want to. So I'll actually be dressed as a ringmaster. But yeah, and so you can just visit our website or our Facebook page. It's got all the details.
Okay.
And please buy your tickets because they're running out soon. So.
Oh, nice.
Well, let's circle back to some of the mission. Well, the mission of the rescue.
You can call it both.
Yeah. But tell us about the mission and how you fulfill it and how you focus on that.
Well, we're trying to create an environment. It's like hopelessness leading into something beautiful, and that is. I almost get emotional thinking about it, because you see some of these dogs, these cases that come in, and you're thinking they're not going to make it through the night because they've been so neglected or just torn up. And then you see them months later in their forever home, and they're happy, and they're just spoiled rotten, and that is the best. I mean, it just gives me chills to think about, because in my opinion, we don't deserve dogs. I think that the beauty of a dog, and it's an unconditional love that you get from those creatures. And it's our responsibility to take as best care of them as we possibly can. And I actually, if you would like to see some before and after, these are for the gala. So no one has actually seen them, but I wanted to show you this. This is my baby girl. Her name is Minka, and she was my inspiration to get the gala started. Okay, so, and it's sometimes a little harsh to look at.
So a lot of people listening on the podcast to describe it.
Yes.
If you listen on the podcast, you can also come watch this on video.
Yes, and it's a before and after.
Aww.
And this is how my baby girl looked when she came in. And our amazing volunteers,
Look at that wound.
she had been drugged behind a truck, and her tail had been cut off non-surgically. So there's the cruelty involved. And and now you can see this baby girl does not want for a single thing. She is happy, she is loved, and this right here is exactly why we do what we do. I mean, the volunteer, and I can continue to show you.
Why don't you show us another one?
Absolutely. So this one that's Abby girl.
Oh my
She was eaten up with mange, malnourished, and one of our
what is that, a
looks like
Pomeranian
two different
or
dogs.
It does, and now living her best life. And this is not something that comes easy. We have to medicate this dog. We have to give shampoo baths.
Look at her poor eyes.
I know, but you see, they never lose hope. That's the beautiful thing about dogs,
So
and
this
cats too. But
This is like a miraculous transformation. You
Absolutely.
have a dog beforehand that's so badly abused, and then afterwards they look like a happy, fluffy puppy.
With the right family, the right love.
Where do these animals come from, most of them?
This baby, this is PJ. She is with us right now, and she is up for adoption. So they come from all over. To answer your question, we pull from Kado, from she's a lab, and now she's a tripod, so she's got 3 legs.
Was that because of maltreatment?
Yes, she had to have surgery to remove it, but it does not stop her by any means. She is, I love a tripod. I love them, but she had mange. She was overweight. But she is the best dog. And we pull from Kado, from Bossier, from Longview. We really try to get as much as we possibly can because there's such a need, all around this area. So yeah, I know.
Are they found and people bring them to you, or is there a dog catcher?
Cattle Animal Control in Bossier, they do have that, and we pull from them as much as we can. A lot of time, you'd be amazed at how many emails our team has to go through that, hey, I found this dog, or the Facebook page, I found this litter of puppies. And so it is a constant battle to, because we only have so much room. That's why we stay at capacity the entire time, because we're just trying to give as much, as many dogs a chance as we can. Yeah, so they come from all over.
So showing us PJ. PJ is at the rescue right now. How would what do they need to do to be qualified to adopt PJ?
Okay, so PJ,
or any
of our dogs. So we do have an application, because we do vet you. We don't. We want to make sure that you're a responsible pet owner. I mean, that's important, and you have to be 21, years of age or older.
Okay, check.
A valid, just shy of that, I know, right? You have to have a valid ID, and you have to have the home that you're living in has to have a fenced-in yard, and it has, let's say if you rent your house, you have to have the acceptance of having a dog with your renter. And if it's for any reason, let's say you've never owned a dog before, that's still okay. You just still have to go through that procedure, and we have to make sure that your facility, your home is capable of having a dog.
Sure. Because sometimes people don't know that their landlord has put that policy in place, and they've signed it, and then they get a wild inkling that they want to become an animal owner.
Exactly.
And they sign up and come down and adopt a pet, and then they can't.
Exactly.
They bring it
and
back
that's,
to you.
Yeah, and that's heartbreaking for the dog. It's heartbreaking for everybody.
Oh.
So that's why we do so much vetting at the beginning, just to make sure once we give you one of our babies, because that's when they're with us for weeks and months, that's what we can, we teach them to be that way. We want to make sure that they're going to a responsible party.
So if a person says, "Oh, I love a dog, I want a dog," why should they come to the shelter? Is it, what are we calling it?
Rescue.
Rescue. Instead of going to a Bichon Frise, Pure Blood AKC or whatever dog show.
I don't want to. I'm not going to talk down to any facility, any business that has dogs, because I do have friends that breed dogs and they do it responsibly, and that's okay. But give me a pound puppy any day. They, in my opinion, I find that those dogs are grateful for it. They know that they've had a past, and I feel like they know that everything's going to be okay now. So I would always say to try to rescue before getting to a breeder. And it's nothing against breeding. It's just we have such a high rate of dogs around here that are needing homes that, we need to spay and neuter. We need to do heartworm prevention. And it's kind of like, hammering it into people's heads. It's so crucial. We work with a lot of different rescues. Robinson Rescue is amazing, and she's getting the message out that, that facility, they're getting that message out of spay and neuter, because you don't want to see the 14 litters of puppies that have happened and then no one has a home for them. It's just heartbreaking. It's not fair to the dog. So come with us.
So it is a great option. You're going to get a loving dog who's healthy and has their records that you will say, this is a clean bill of health dog.
Clean bill of health, and
they're generally loving. I mean, even these dogs that have been abused.
Oh yeah, you'd be amazed at how, some of them will have some issues at first, but we work with them, with our shifts and everything, and you'd be amazed. Most of them, they're like, oh no, we couldn't have that dog. A month later, you see pictures of them, and they're just laying in the bed under the covers with their owner.
So we record this podcast in advance. So this is just a point in time. May not reflect more accurately when you're watching this later on. But how many dogs do you have up for adoption right now? And are you at capacity?
We are, so we are at capacity with our facility itself. The adoption, right now, I believe we've got about 15 up for adoption. The reason that number is different is because some of them are going through heartworm treatments, or they have some sort of medical issue that's not made them to where they're not quite ready yet. And we also have some puppies that they're still weaning with their mama, their little butterbean babies. And
what's a butterbean baby?
The mama is called Butterbean, and so each one of the puppies is going to be a bean name. They're so little right now. They just opened their eyes. So
like lima bean,
lima bean. That's right. That's right. So those, they're not ready yet. We have to make sure that they're vaccinated, and then we get all of our dogs get spayed or neutered before they leave our facility. So
Mean Joe Breen.
That's right.
Bean.
Lima bean, purple hole. I don't know.
String bean.
I'm trying to think of all my beans that I love. You're making me hungry, actually, Shannon.
But
how much does it cost to adopt a dog? Do people pay into that?
That is the cheapest part, or I should say the least expensive part of the dog. So it ranges usually about $250, depending on if it's a full blood. Sometimes it could be $300. But let me tell you, you are getting a bargain with all of these dogs, because the care, the medical, if they have to have surgery, the spay and neuter, we absorb all of those fees. So it takes about $20,000 a month for us to run our facility.
Wow.
And don't forget that we are 100% donation based. So that is why our team is constantly trying to do activities, events because $20,000 is a lot of money. And that's why the gala is so important too. So when you get your dog for $250, you're getting a deal.
Again, circling back to that April Canine Carnival Gala, and we just want to remind the people watching this, there are still tickets. There are tables available, individual tickets as well.
Yes.
Ways I'm sure people can sponsor. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
So how should they contact you for that?
So you can either on our website or on our Facebook page, and our email address is located on that as well. So it can come to me directly. But I would love, like I said, especially any individual or business, if you're a dog lover, this is the perfect chance for you to sponsor a table, to be a part of something that it's our first time, and it's going to be an amazing party.
And that website is rescuehsnwla.
Email address, yes.
.com?
Yeah, the email address is rescuehsnwla@gmail.com. Our website is www.hsnwla.com.
Okay. HS.
Yeah, it's Humane Society of Northwest Louisiana. It's a mouthful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just ask Siri. She'll find it.
Exactly.
So I had a question because I have seen families experience this. If someone has brought a dog into their homes, into their families, and for whatever reason it's not working anymore, maybe it was a couple and one side of the couple passed away or moved
Sure.
away or something.
Yeah.
What can people do? Can they contact your organization?
They can. So we get numerous emails about that every day. Now, first of all, if you adopt from us, in your contract, if something happens and you can no longer care for that dog has to come back to us.
Has to.
Has to, yes. Now, if it's something, an owner surrender is what we call that. And unfortunately, that happens. Sometimes maybe the person has passed away, like you said, and the family can't take care of them. Those kind of things, we do take those dogs, but it has to go through a process. And so you have to fill out an application. That's on our website, an owner surrender form. Then our team gets back in touch with you. And if we're not at capacity, then we work with you,
Do you have any tips for people, like say you're at capacity? Our last 3 dogs, we've gotten kind of secondhand dogs.
Okay.
They've either sold a dog and got it back and had to get rid of it. But we find them on Craigslist, we find them on online. Do you give tips to people on ways to share their dogs in other ways if you have a capacity?
We do, and you'd be amazed. There is a spider web of lots of different facilities around town and in the surrounding area. All you have to do is just think of a rescue, and on your social media will pop that up.
Yeah.
So even if we're at capacity, there are other rescues, and they're great. There's some great rescues out there. So I would encourage you to get in touch with them, and that's what we tell you too. Hey, if we're at capacity, if you can't keep this dog until we're not at capacity, then look for other ways.
It is
try to do a
amazing 'cause
no-kill.
dogs they can't generally. She's holding up a picture.
I have to bring up PJ again. Is this
PJ.
PJ?
That's PJ.
So just reminding people, of the reason why we're all here talking, these wonderful dogs. If someone is interested in adopting PJ or another dog, we talked about the requirements. Do you offer them coaching on, because I think that holds back people a little bit from deciding to take that plunge if they are a first-time pet owner?
Yeah, well, we have a team of certain volunteers that if you come in to do kind of a meet and greet, they can show you some simple commands and things to, if you're a first time, because that can be a nerve-wracking thing, of course. So yeah, we have some that can help you with it. And we also like to post on our Facebook page. We'll have different guidelines and things, when fireworks happen, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, cold weather. So we try to keep the public as educated as we can.
And probably not a wise idea to adopt around a holiday, right? Because even though the idea is that, wouldn't Junior love a puppy under the tree, it's the wrong time to.
Yeah.
We don't actually allow it. So a few days before and after, we don't, just for that reason. Because of course everybody would love a puppy in their Christmas stocking.
Oh,
yes.
it's so cute.
But you also have to remember that is for that dog, that's a lifelong responsibility. And it's something that should really be taken seriously.
So if a person loves animals, they're not sure, they can either come and maybe come volunteer or at least just come window shop a little bit.
Yes,
Come
we
look
would
and see your
love to have
dogs.
you. Yes, so and you can actually be younger too. So you have to be 16 or older. And if you're an animal lover, we will put you to work. I would love. We have another team that we have new volunteer orientation. So we show you the ropes. We show you everything about the rescue itself, and you can. Yeah, you can work shifts. We'll put you to work however we can. Yeah, we'd love to have you.
So I know over the holidays recently, I believe it was your rescue that had a program where people could, like a lending library, check
Yes.
out an animal for just a short period of time because you needed a little bit of relief, right?
Well, we didn't quite do that. Now we did do Santa stockings. We
Okay.
did that.
Okay.
Yes. So you could sponsor one of our dogs, and Christmas morning Santa came, and all of the dogs had their toys, and that was an amazing. I love when the volunteers, because they video it all and you see what Santa brought you, and it's amazing. Yes.
What Santa brought PJ.
PJ is.
I think you might need to go
I
see
think,
PJ, Shannon.
PJ is the sweetest girl, and I can't speak well enough. I mean, she's just the best. And she's been through so much, but you would not know it when you see her playing with the other dogs, and she loves other people she's just the best. So, yes,
Well, you
we're
have so
trying to
much
find her.
passion, so much love for these animals, and you are a full-time board member. You work there every day. You clean out the pens.
I do.
How did you decide to become involved with the Humane Society?
Well, it's actually funny. I was on Facebook and I saw one of their posts from the Humane Society that said you could sponsor a heartworm positive dog. And it was for $300, and I sat there and I thought, well, I can do that, you know. So I reached out, and at that time, it was a boxer dog, and I was like, oh, she's beautiful. Her name was Hannah. I remember that. And I was like, I'm gonna adopt her.
Hannah,
well, I go up
set the hook.
I went up to meet her, and she did not want to have anything to do with me. And so I thought, okay, well, so the volunteer that was helping me at the time, I said, I don't think this is quite a match. And she said, yeah, that's okay. I said, but do you take volunteers? And boy, she snatched me up at that point. And then Minka came along, and she was the one that was meant for me.
Here for everyone.
So when you got your own dog through
I have
your own
two
baby.
rescues. Yes.
I don't want to say just
That's
dog.
okay.
Baby,
Yes,
your own
I have
baby.
two rescues. They're both from the Humane Society, and I have Minka, and then I have a beagle that rules the roost. So with short little legs, but we love him.
Well, Kady, Maranto, we have to wrap things up right here with the Humane Society of Northwest Louisiana. Thank you so much for appearing on
Thank
Good
you
to
very,
Know.
very much for having us and letting us spread the education. I appreciate
Well, I love
it.
your creativity for the fundraisers, for caring for the dogs, for reaching out to people, and your enthusiasm. So thanks so much.
Thank you very
for
much.
being here.
And make sure you come to the gala. We're so excited about it.
Definitely. And people can watch this anywhere you get your podcast. On behalf of Paul and Kady, I'm Shannon
And
Brinias.
Ed.
And Ed off in the sidelines. We just want to thank you for watching and enjoying our Good to Know podcast. New episodes are available every other Wednesday. You can find Good to Know wherever you listen to podcasts. And maybe go down to the rescue and check out PJ and all the other animals that are up to finding forever homes. Have a good day.